Hi everyone, welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome everyone to another week of fun creativity. Now I'm coming to you at a different time this week. Normally I go live at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, but I'm coming to you at 7:30 p.m. Well, actually, it's a bit after 7:30 p.m. because I had to get little Callie sorted, our little puppy dog, with her medication, and my daughter was getting her dinner and things. So, yes, this is kind of a tricky time for us because it's usually her feeding and medication time for little Callie. So, anyway, all good, all sorted, and I'm here. So I look forward to some of you joining me. For those of you that are watching live tonight, you will see a red live button up in the top left-hand corner. You'll know that you're live here with me on Facebook if you see that. And if you don't see that, then you are watching the replay. I do upload all of my videos over to YouTube as well. So thank you to everybody who comes back to watch my videos, both here on Facebook and also over on YouTube. Excuse me. A little bit of a froggy in my throat there. So we have got some fun things. I've got some beautiful cards to share with you today, or this evening, I should say. And I've got some Stampin' Up! News to share with you quickly first before we jump into that. But before we do any of that, let me just check that I have this live feed coming up on my other devices so I can see all of your comments. So let me just prepare that. We'll bring that up. There we go. And do you know what I realized when I was going live, when I was getting ready to jump on, that I didn't even have time to put a brooch on before I went live. And I didn't put one on this morning when I was getting ready because I was on a time limit this morning too, trying to squeeze things in. And so I'm broochless this week, and I've just got ordinary gold earrings on today too. So yes, you might be wondering where my brooch is. That is why. I'll explain in a moment why my day has been a little bit different and a little bit crazy. All right. Oh, I'm molting here. Hang on a minute. There we go. Okay. So I can see that a few of you are jumping in now. So it's great to have you here. Oops, hang on a sec. I just lost my comments. There we go. Hey, Angelique, how are you? Lovely to have you here. It's great that you can join us. This is a good time slot for you by the looks of it. Hey, Julie, great to have you here as well. Thank you for joining me, ladies. So if you are joining me, feel free to say hi. And if it's your first time, let me know where you're watching from. We always like to welcome our new viewers. So I hope that you will enjoy what I have to share with you today. So before we jump in, let me just tell you a little bit about my day and my weekend. And I hope you've all had a great weekend and a lovely Monday today too. We had our daughter's 30th birthday this weekend. This is our second eldest daughter, so our middle child. Was her 30th birthday today, actually. So we've been celebrating all weekend. She came home from Queensland for the weekend, and we had family dinner on Friday night, and then we had a girls' dinner over at my son's place with my daughter-in-law. We had a girls' dinner and girls' night, so that was lovely. And the boys went off to the soccer, so that was really fun. And then yesterday we had a high tea over at a place on the other side of Sydney to where we are on what would you call it, the North Shore? I guess it's towards the North Shore, on the other side of the Sydney Harbour anyway, at Mossman, near where Taronga Zoo is, if you've ever heard of Taronga Zoo. So, and then today is her actual birthday, so then today, just the three of us, my other daughter and myself and Brooke, whose birthday it was, we watched a movie. Of course, we watched Suddenly 30. Do you know that movie? It's a great fun movie, and it's one of our favourites, so we had to watch that today, of course, because today was her birthday and she was turning 30. And she flew home this afternoon. So she's flown back up to Queensland. She's not long arrived up there, And so that's why I was just delaying going live today, because she was flying home this afternoon. So now that I know that she got back up there okay and everything, I thought, well, I will jump on and share with you some fantastic projects. Alrighty. Oh, hey Danielle, lovely to have you here. I am doing well, thank you. And it's great that you're able to join us today. All right, well, let me quickly share with you some Stampin' Up! News, then we will jump in. If you've got any questions along the way, feel free to jump in and ask those questions, and I will try to catch them as we go. Sometimes when I've got my head down, I might miss them. Amber's upstairs with Callie. I'm not sure if she's able to jump on or not, because she's just been, I think she just went up. She was busy feeding and finishing off her medications, Callie's medications and things. So not sure if she's jumping on, but usually she will catch the comments, any comments that I miss. Anyway, let me share a couple of things. We still have the 30% off, or Stampin' Up! Has the 30% off the Kits collection sale happening at the moment. That goes until the end of October. So we've still got 9 days left of that, because I know it's the 21st. Wait. How many days? Wait, there's 31 days. There's 31 days in October. So we've still got 10 days left of this sale. Some kits have been really popular, and they're currently unavailable because they've been so popular that they have sold out for the moment. But if you see them on the Stampin' Up! Website in the online store, and it says currently unavailable, then you know that they are going to be restocked. Now, as to whether or not they're going to be restocked before the end of the sale, I can't say, because we don't know how long before the stock will come back in. But if there are any kits there that you were wanting, they're all discounted and by different amounts. But yeah, don't wait. If there's something there that you wanted, jump online and grab them in case your favorites go unorderable as well. So there you go. So that's happening. The other thing that's happening is we have the amazing starter kit special. So the starter kit is always the best deal in the catalogue, because not only do you get a whole stack of freebies when you purchase the starter kit, but you're also going to have an ongoing 20% discount with Stampin' Up! While you are current, and you get to join an awesome creative community. Both, if you join with me, you'll get to join both my team as well as the wider Stampin' Up! Community, and there are lots and lots of fun things that happen within my community and the Stampin' Up! Community. There's different groups, there's special demonstrator only things that happen throughout the year. We have the opportunity of getting products early. We get a free catalogue every time there's a new catalogue, and so much more. Special events, did I say that? Special events throughout the year. But it's super duper fun. So if that's something that you would like more information about, then please feel free to let me know. The starter kit special at the moment, it's always a great deal, but at the moment you get additional products in your starter kit. So you still pay the same amount, $169, but you get to choose the products you put into your starter kit, which is the best thing. So you can customize it exactly how you want it. At the moment, you're going to get to choose $286 of value of products in your starter kit, but you're still going to only pay $169. So that's $117 worth of free product, which is amazing. Now, when I joined 8 years ago, I don't think I joined under a special. I think I just joined under the usual starter kit price, which is usually you get to choose $235 and still pay the $169, which is already a great value. And yeah, I did that. But if I wasn't already a demonstrator, I'd jump on this one because this is an amazing special. Plus, you're going to get free shipping on that starter kit order as well. So that's usually around about just over $17 saving on an order of that size as well. So that's a really great special. So if you want $117 worth of free Stampin' Up! Products, jump on the starter kit special. It goes until the end of October 2024, and it is an amazing special. So if you want to find out more information about joining my team specifically, feel free to get in contact with me to ask me your questions. I'm one that likes to ask questions and know what I'm getting into and know everything about everything kind of thing, know all the details and all of that. So if that's you as well, feel free to ask me because I'm happy to go through all of those details with you. Now, the other thing is too, if you do purchase the starter kit, don't feel that you have to sell products because you don't have to hold classes or anything like that. You can leave at any time if you choose. If you decide that it's not for you, you can just go back to being a customer. It's not a problem. And Stampin' Up, like there's no penalties. So Stampin' Up are not going to take your starter kit away from you. You've already paid for that. You get to keep that. They'll give you some catalogs as well for free, which is awesome. And then you just go back to being a customer. But if you join right now, then you can enjoy that 20% discount up to at least April 2025. That 20% discount until April 2025. So that will cover like the next new catalog that's going to come out, which will be in January. And Celebration as well happens in January and February. So yeah, so you'll get your demonstrator discount on all of those new things as well. So very exciting. So if you'd like more information, please let me know, and I would love to answer your questions and help you with that as well. All right, we've got a couple more jumping on. Hey Glenda, hi Rose. Great to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining me. Got some of my regulars here and some additional ladies here that can't normally catch me when I go live in the afternoons. So that's great. That's good. All right. Now, the other thing that I wanted to let you know about was I have the October tutorial bundle available right now. So this is a tutorial bundle that's put together by the Crafty Collaborations group, which I'm a part of. And every month we can choose to collaborate on this tutorial. And there's usually around about 40-ish projects, different projects using current products that go into this tutorial. So you get full PDF tutorials and photos of each of those projects. Now, if you're one of my customers and you order over $75 in the month of October, you will get this for free as my thank you gift to you. If you're not one of my customers or you are a demonstrator yourself, you can actually purchase this from me for $28. Yeah, you can purchase that from anywhere in the world because it is a PDF tutorial, so I can actually send it to people overseas as well. So if that's something you would like, and of course my team members, they get it for free. At the end of every month, they get to have this for free because they are part of my team. And that's one of the perks of being on my team. So on this one, we've got 39 different projects. So they are beautiful. If I hold that up close, it gives you a little sneaky peek of some of those projects. I've got one on there as well. My one is over here. So if that's something that you would like, then feel free to ask me about my monthly tutorial bundle. Every month there is a different tutorial bundle with different projects. So you get lots and lots of creative inspiration from them. So that is awesome. Danielle says, the baby is doing well and growing. Oh, that's so exciting. So not long now till you finish work, which is the 28th of November. Oh, not long at all, Danielle. Oh, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, thanks for the update. That's beautiful. Alrighty. Well, if you need catalogs, we're going to be looking at some products from the Mini Catalogue. So this is the September to December 2024 Mini Catalogue. We've got this catalogue. We've also got the annual catalogue as well, which I didn't bring down today because we're focusing on this one today, but we do have the annual one as well. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're working with and you would like a copy of one of these catalogs, let me know and I'd love to get one out to you. If you already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're working with, please ask them for your copy of the catalogue, and I'm sure they will be happy to get that out to you. Now, let me just grab all of my my little pathways, and I'm going to pop them in the comments for you, so that if you are looking for anything that I have just mentioned, or you need to get in contact with me, you can find all of those things there. So let me grab that. I always like to put it in the comments, and when I do upload this to YouTube, I will put that in the description of the video as well. So there we go. So anything that you are looking for, you can go there. If there's something that you are looking for and you can't find it there, then please feel free to get in contact with me, and I'll be happy to direct you to where you need to go. All right, so I'm going to pop these over to the side. Alrighty, we are playing with some really fun products tonight, but before we do, I've got some show and tell. So every new catalogue, well, most new catalogues that come out, I run a project swap with my team. It's lots and lots of fun. Not all team members choose to be part of it, and that's okay, because not everybody has the time to produce, you know, a number of projects. You know, we've got people with different things going on in their lives, so that's okay. But we did have 9 team members who participated this time in this team swap. So this team swap was based around products from the Mini Catalogue, and I can now share all of the projects with you because I've now received all of them. So what we do is we pick a product from the new catalogue, and then we design a project around that product. We each pick different products, or there might be people, we don't really tell each other what we're picking. So sometimes there might be somebody who picks the same product, but their projects are always different because we've got different, you know, different designs in mind and different creativity, different skill levels and things like that. So we always get a range of different projects. So then what we do is we design our project, and then we make 9 copies of that. So everybody in the swap gets a copy, and then we mail them out to each person in the swap. And then when we get them back, we get a big bundle of projects like this. So it's a lot of fun. It's great to get all this happy mail in the letterbox, and also too, it gives us lots of great ideas of using the projects, the products, and also we get some really cool design ideas as well. So I'm going to share those with you. Hey Chitska, great to have you here. So I'm going to share all of those with you today, and then my swap card we're going to make tonight together. Now the thing is, with my swap card, I don't know what I did with all my measurements, so I'm going to have to, I don't think they're on the back of this. No, they're not. I don't know what I did with all of my measurements when I was doing the bulk. I did like all of the cards in production line once I designed it. All of the other 8 cards I had to make were done in a production line. And I don't know what I did with all of the measurements. So we're going to be measuring as we go tonight, which will be great because you'll all get the measurements as we go. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera down onto the desktop so you can all have a look at all of these beautiful cards that we received. Now, I haven't uploaded these yet to my team group because I like to watermark them all first so that everybody knows who has created them. But I will, for those of you who are here in my team, I will get them up into our team group so that you can all enjoy them and have another look at them. But I will have to photograph and watermark them first before I can do that. So you need to give me some time because I've had a very big last few days with our daughter's birthday. All right, so let me cover up the camera. I'm going to tip it down onto the desktop. If you did something exciting on the weekend, let me know in the comments what you did. All right, so you can type that, type away while I get the camera ready for us down onto the desktop. Here we go. Now I've got to make sure that I tighten everything up because I think, was it last week that the camera kept slipping down? I'm going to make sure, so it's going to be a bit squeaky here. I tighten everything up really tight. We don't want any dropping cameras tonight. All right, I'll put this down a bit lower. Here we go. All right. Let's see how that is looking. How are we going? Oh, wow, I got it pretty straight tonight. Just a little tweak that way, I think. Is that a bit better? It was almost straight, but not quite. Just a tad more, I think. And are we flat? I almost need like a spirit level on the end of this thing. Yeah, I think we're not quite flat. That's a bit better, I think. Yeah, I need like a spirit level so that I can get it nice and straight for you all. All right, great, good. Now, hopefully that stand will stay put and it's not going to fall. All right, so I'm going to mention this right now because often I forget to mention it, but if you are looking for any of the products that I'm sharing today, then you can find them here at mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, or you can find my online store also at mandywitherby.stampinup.net. Okay, so you can find my online store in both of those places. If you are shopping with me, this is my October host code, so be sure to use that. Pop that into your cart before you check out. And if you're ordering over $75, then you'll get that awesome tutorial bundle. This one here that I showed you before. So I'll email that to you, yeah, if your order is over $75 as my thank you gift to you. As I said, this tutorial bundle is worth $28. So you'll get that for free if you're shopping with me over $75. Alrighty. Oh, Angelique says, I went to the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator gathering in Canberra on Sunday. Oh, you went, Angelique. That is awesome. I heard that something was, I heard just yesterday, no, Friday it must have been, that there was something going on down in Canberra with Stampin' Up! And I didn't know any of the details about it. So that is fantastic. I'm guessing that they must have contacted all of the demonstrators that live down that way. Oh, that's awesome, Angelique. I would love to hear about that. I'll have to have a chat with you at some stage soon and hear all about it. That's so exciting. Awesome. All right. So here's our mini catalogue. And as I was going to say, those sorts of gatherings that Angelique has just spoken about in the group chat, or in the chat here on this video, they're the kinds of things that we can get involved with. You don't have to, it's an optional thing, but it's always fun to gather with other demonstrators. So I'm so excited to hear that you did that and you went to that, Angelique. That's really exciting. I hope it was a lot of fun. All right, so mini catalogue. Now, I'm going to try and look up the products as we go. I was planning on doing it beforehand, but as I said, I've had a lot going on this week, so or these past few days, so I don't have them all, what do you call them, tabbed, the pages tabbed that we need ahead of time. These tabs that you see here, these are mine to help me find things in the catalogue. I actually, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with these ones because they became very curly. So next time I need to use the more plasticky ones that don't curl up like this, because every time I put my catalogue back on my shelf, they get caught and they get more bent. So, but all good. All right, so the first one we're going to look at uses the, let me find the stamps. So you know we've got the index in the back of the catalogue on page 64. The first card uses the Autumn Expressions bundle stamp. So let's look that up. Autumn Expressions on page 37. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is the one, it's from the Splendid Autumn. I'll try and hold my catalogue so we don't get as much glare from the lights, but it is a little bit tricky with the lights over the desktop. So this is the beautiful Splendid Autumn Suite Collection. And so Beverly, our first card is from Beverly Peck. She's one of our team members, and she has used products from this suite for her her project, and this is on pages 36 to 37. And I'm going to take each of the cards out of the plastic baggies to show you as we go, so that you can have a good look at them. So this is Bev's card. Isn't this just stunning? This paper is beautiful. Really, really gorgeous paper. I was actually going to be playing with that today, but then I changed my mind and I thought, no, I'm going to create my swap card. But this might be one that we case. If you don't know what case is, C-A-S-E, it is copy and selectively edit, but we might case Bev's card on another day because I've actually got that beautiful paper and I've got the ribbon too. I don't have the stamps and dies, but I have other ones that we can use. So yeah, and she's put some DSP on the inside there as well to decorate the inside. Isn't that beautiful? So a beautiful card, a beautiful swap card, Bev. Thank you so much for your beautiful card. Okay, the next one uses the Painted Trees 3D embossing folder. It also has a stamp on there too. Oh wait, this one has got 2 pages of, so what happens is when everybody sends their, the stamp set is over the page. When everybody sends their swap card, they put a little slip of paper in there with all of the products they've used on the project, so that if we love the products or we love the project, we know what they've used and we can purchase the products if we don't already have them, or we can at least use what's on our shelf, so that we know what they've used. And that helps us to select something maybe that might be similar, or maybe we've already got that product on our shelf. All right, so this next one uses the Christmas Friends stamp set, which is super, super cute. It has dies as well. I don't think the dies, do they come as a bundle? Yes, they do. Christmas Friends bundle. So there's the stamps and the dies. You can purchase them individually, but you will save 10% if you purchase them together as the bundle. So always remember to use that bundle code if they are coordinating products that are available in a bundle. So that's the one we are looking at next. Super, super cute bundle. And this one is from Julie Bartolo. And Julie is with us on this live. Whoops, hang on a minute. I've got to take it out of the baggie. Okay, and Julie has created a fun fold card, which is super cute. Look at this little bear. Isn't he just adorable? And she's created a little belly band here. She's got some embossing here in the background with the Painted Trees 3D embossing folder. I love that. And she's done some ink sponging on there with some blending brushes. And if we slide the belly band off, check this out. I need to learn how to make one of these cards. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? She's got a little present in there. And look at all this beautiful designer series paper she's used. But how cool is that fun fold? So that paper is the, let me get the right one here. It's the Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. And that paper is the one that is the Making a Difference product in this catalogue. So a certain amount of money from the purchase of that paper goes to children's literacy and numeracy here in Australia. And in other countries, if you purchase that paper, a percentage of that sale goes to children's literacy programs around the world. So isn't that just so super cute? Thank you so much, Julie, for your gorgeous card. Love this little bear, so, so cute, and he looks really cute with that paper. So I love that. Thank you. Okay, the next one we have is from Robin Falang. Now, I'm not sure if Robin's on here tonight. I don't think she is. But Robin has used, let's see, Robin has used the Take a Bow DSP and the Light the Years stamp set. Oh, she's also used it, Unbounded Love stamps. So let's go to Light the Year stamp set, and that is on page 41. All right. Oh, and there's the DSP. So she's used this paper here. So the Take a Bow, Take a Bow. No, I keep on saying Take a Bow. It's actually pronounced bow because it's a bow maker bundle. So it's called Take a Bow. And the stamp set here is the Light the Year stamp set. And I think she's used the dies as well. So again, that does come as a bundle. So you can get them individually, but why would you? Just get the bundle, save yourself 10%. But if you get the stamp sets, you're going to want the dies to coordinate with them because that is so much easier than trying to fussy cut them. Plus you get additional dies as well with these additional sprigs here too. So that is the one that Robin used. And Robin has also done a fun fold card or fancy fold, depending on what you like to call it. And this is Robin's card here. Isn't that a cool fancy fold? That's another one I haven't done yet. I really like this. See how it's just the front of the card is folded in a particular way to give you that little cool detail there on the front flap of the card. Isn't that awesome? So I need to learn how to make that one as well. That's super cool. Thank you, Robin, for your beautiful card. And that little lantern, doesn't that look adorable? So cute. There we go. All right, so that's Robin's card. The next card is from Kathleen. And I'm just going to open this little package up. Kathleen has used the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, Peaceful Season stamp set and dies, and the Joyful Image ephemera. Oh, plus the Take a Bow DSP, which we just looked at, and the 3 twine combo. So Peaceful Season stamp set. Let's look that one up. Peaceful Seasons. Peaceful Season, not seasons, not plural. Okay, page 25. Let's have a little looky here. Peaceful Season. Okay, so it's this one here. So she's used the stamps and the dies. So this is from the Season of Elegance suite, if you've seen that one before. This is a beautiful, beautiful suite. And in fact, this designer series paper is the paper I used on my card. So we're going to be using some of that. So I'll just tell you that now. These are the trees, the tree embossing folder, the Painted Trees 3D embossing folder that Julie used as well on her card. So yeah, this is a popular one. We all like this suite. So yeah, so this is the bundle that Kathleen has highlighted. There is another embossing folder she's used as well, which is called the Forever Plaid. And this is Kathleen's beautiful card that she has created here for us. Isn't that gorgeous? I love how she's used those little labels to create that little design there with the squares that have got, well, they've got rounded corners, they've got a little bit of detail embossed on them, and they've got the little cutouts on the corner that if you wanted to, you could thread ribbon through as well. And I love this. How cool does that look? That Merry Christmas. And the inside's just plain. And she's got one of the ephemera pieces there as well from the Christmas ephemera pack. The Joyful Image ephemera. Isn't that a great idea? So, so different. I love everybody's ideas. Everyone just has such different creative ideas. All right, the next card is from Roz Pedersen Court. And Roz has used the Humble Home the Humble Home stamp set and punch. There's lots of other products that everybody has used on their projects too. So I'm just kind of highlighting the main ones that they've focused on, because otherwise we'll be here all night and we'll never get to the project that we're making tonight. All right, so this is it here, the Humble Home. Again, we've got the stamps. This time we've got a punch. This has been so popular, this little house punch. It's called the Humble Home Builder Punch. And again, you can purchase it as a bundle. So you've got the bundle price here on page 46. So yeah, again, the stamp set is available individually. The punch is available individually, or you can get them together as a bundle and save yourself 10% when you do that. So that's the one that that Roz has used. She's also used the Regal Flora and the Modern Oval punch as well. And this is Roz's beautiful card here. And for the paper, she's used the Regal Winter Designer Series paper and the Regal Distressed Designer Series paper. So we've got lots happening yeah, in this beautiful design. She's also got these, what are these stamps here? This one is, oh sorry, Regal Flora and the Humble Home. So this is the Regal Flora and this is the Humble Home. So I love how she's incorporated those two together. Isn't that beautiful? And she's even put some Designer Series paper and a nice label on the inside there as well. And she's done a bit of inking here with the blending brushes. Isn't that gorgeous? So thank you, Roz, for your beautiful card. I love this little house. It's so adorable. And these little embellishments, these are the real red and white peppermints. Now, they have been really popular and they were unorderable for a time. I'm not sure if they've come back in or not. If anybody knows, feel free to let me know. But yeah, super, super cute. And I love all the gold detail in the Designer Series paper there as well. So really, really cute. So thank you so much, Roz, for your beautiful card. Now, the next one is from Amanda Fitzgerald. And Amanda has used, let me just find it first and I'll show you, the Reindeer Fun Stamp and Die Bundle. Let's find the page, Reindeer Fun, page 27. Find that back here, 27. And the products that Amanda has used is from the Reindeer Days Sweet Collection. So we've also got in here, so that's the stamp set, and there's coordinating dies as well. You can see them here. There's the peppermints that were used by Roz, and Amanda has used them as well. Amanda's also used the embossing folder, which is the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, which is the same one that Kathleen used. That's where you can find that one on page 27. And there is coordinating DSP as well, but Amanda has focused on the dies, and there's some stamping on there as well. But how cute is this little reindeer? Isn't that just so adorable, used creating the dies? So all of this is created using the dies. She's got the Christmas, the Merry Christmas stamp set there, and then that beautiful plaid 3D embossing folder in the background. And how cute are those little peppermints? Isn't that beautiful? She's put a little bit of Designer Series paper inside as well with those beautiful Christmas lights to dress up the inside. It's always a great way of dressing up the inside of your card, is adding a little bit of DSP inside there too. So thank you for your adorable card, Amanda. I love this little reindeer. He's super, super cute. And I love the design that you've created there. So thank you so much for that, Amanda. All right, the next one we have. Oh, Julie said, I was looking at the inventory status report and the peppermints are unorderable until November sometime. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Julie. So they must, yeah, they're very, very popular, those peppermints, but they're currently not available right now, but they are coming back. All right, the next project we've got has been created by Angela Lonka of Bedazzling Paper Crafts, and Angela has focused on the Regal Flora stamps and dies. So let's have a look for the Regal Flora, page 35. And the Regal Flora is from the Regal Winter Suite. So Angela has used the stamps and dies. There's the paper that, who had used that paper? It was Roz. Roz used that paper. And she also used the stamps and dies from this suite as well. Angela has used the designer series paper, the stamps, the dies, the embellishments as well. And I think she just didn't use the ribbon or this designer series paper. But yeah, she's used quite a few of the products from the Regal Winter Suite collection. That's on pages 34 and 35. And this is Angela's beautiful card. Isn't that beautiful? And she's done some gold embossing there as well. She's got a little panel, a little layer here that she's done a bit of stamping on as well. And then she's layered up all of her flowers there and that beautiful DSP. Now this this embossing that she's got on here, I haven't actually asked her how she did that. I'm wondering if she's actually just used her paper trimmer or maybe her Simply Scored tool, which is a scoring board. She might have used that for the background. I must ask her actually, because we can use that to decorate the backgrounds of our cards. We always forget about that. And she's done a little bit of stamping on the inside as well to dress up the inside layer. So really beautiful card. Thank you, Angela, for your beautiful card. Love that. All right, our next project is from Jane Welsh, and Jane has focused on the hang and ornament stamps and dies. So let's see what page that is on. Hang and ornament, page 44. Now some of these projects I don't have the products for, but some I do. But I think some of these I'm going to need to case because they are beautiful, beautiful projects. So this is the bundle that Jane has focused on. And it's a really interesting bundle, this one, because you've got this die here that creates a little peekaboo. So I'm going to show that to you because Jane has used that on her card. And then you've got the stamps here, and you can stamp the sentiment across the baubles there. And you can actually use those little baubles to hang on your tree as well as decorate your projects. And there's lots of little pieces there to decorate your cards. So again, individually, but you'll want the bundle. So purchase the bundle, save yourself 10%. Yeah, you'll definitely want that bundle if you get that. All right, so let's open up the packet with Jane's project. There's the card there, and I think let's just have a look and see. Okay, she's also used the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper. And she's got some gold thread here as well. Now this is the bauble here on the front, and we've got the little bit of the decorative scallop there on the bauble with the sentiment stamp laid over the top. We've got the holly berries and the holly leaves. But check this out. With this card, you can pop out the bauble. I haven't taken it all the way out yet, but you can pop out the bauble, and look, she's put a little hanger on it. So now you can use that, and she stamped both sides. So you can use that as a decoration on your Christmas tree, or you could use it on another gift. And she's also stamped an extra bauble on the inside as well, so that when you remove that one from the little pull-out section, you've still got a bauble underneath as well. Isn't that a great idea? Great little gift idea as well for when you're sending your cards, because then they've got something to keep from the card as well that they can then use on their Christmas tree. So I'll pop that back in there. I'm not sure if I've got that ribbon back tucked in there the right way. Now let's see, has Jane got anything on the inside? Yep, she's done the same as well. Use a little bit of DSP to decorate the inside. That's what I like to do as well. I find a really great quick and easy way of decorating the insides of our cards. So this one I'm going to pop back in the packet so that I don't lose that little bauble. But thank you for your beautiful card, Jane. I love that. I love that idea with that little pop out bauble. All right, and the last one is my project. So I'm saving that one till last because it's the one that we're going to be creating with. And I have focused on the Shepherd's Care stamp set on page 56. And I'm not going to go into all of the details of all of the products straight up because we're going to create my card tonight, so you're going to see them as we go. So this is the stamp set here that I have used. It's a standalone stamp set, so it doesn't have any coordinating dies at all. It's just, yeah, just the stamp set on its own. It is a Million Sales Achiever stamp set, which means that one of the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who has achieved 1 million in sales has helped to design this stamp set, and that is Cindy Fodor. I'm not sure where Cindy is from, probably America, I think. But yeah, Cindy helped to design this beautiful, beautiful stamp set, which I absolutely love. So that is what we are going to be creating with today, and that's on page 56 if you are looking for that. All right, now let me move all of these beautiful projects off my desk so that I don't get any ink on them or anything. All right, and this is my project here. This is my card here that I made for our team swaps. So I hope you like that. Now I feel like my phone has sunk a little bit. So before we go any further, I'm just going to readjust it. So forgive me for bumping the camera around for a minute while I just get this. That one has moved. All right, let's see. I've got to just align this again. Sorry, everybody. There we go. Hopefully we've got that a bit better. Okay, we'll move these up, get them out of the way a little bit. All right, so this is my project, and this is what we are going to be creating tonight. All right, I'm going to take a little sip of water before I get started. I didn't make my cup of tea today. Well, I did. I had one earlier this afternoon, so I didn't kind of feel like another one tonight. Alrighty. Now, of course, the lighting is a bit different at night time, so I apologize if the lighting isn't as great tonight. I've kind of got my lights adjusted over as best as I can, so I'm hoping that they will pick everything up all right. Okay, so what we need is our Shepherd's Care stamp set. Okay, I've also used the this is the Greetings of the Season dies. So we've got lots of really cool dies there. I'm going to show you a little trick with making the background die as well. I'm using quite a few different techniques on here. So I'll show you all of those as we go. And then I've got some beautiful designer series paper. So I'm going to pull all of those products out. I'm going to show them to you as we go. Hey, Jenny, great to have you here. So I'm going to show you all of those products as we go along. But we are going to just grab out our stamps from here and pop them onto some blocks. So let me just reach across here. Forgive me for reaching across the camera to grab some blocks for our stamps. So we need this large one for the shepherd. This is a E block for our shepherd. We're going to need the star. We need the peace on earth. We need the village in the background. And that's it. We've got some beautiful, we've got a small star there as well. And we've got this circular sentiment. And then you've got these two ones as well. This one's a really nice one for inside. It says, praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. So that's a really great one for stamping on the inside of the card. And this one is like a Bible verse. It says, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And that's from Psalm 147, verse 3 in the Bible. But we're going to be using the peace on earth tonight. And this one says, Prince of Peace, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father. So they're really, really beautiful sentiments there. Okay, so let's grab some blocks and put our star on a block. We'll put our sentiment. I think peace on earth is a really good, it's like a really good sentiment because, you know, we all want peace on earth, don't we? There's too many terrible things that go on around the world. All right, so I've got my stamps ready to go. We are going to, I'll put my dies over to the side. We're going to be using watercolor pencils today. Now, the watercolor pencils, they come in two assortments. There's assortment 1 and assortment 2. I'm actually using a combination of the two of them, and I store mine in, I don't store them in the boxes that they come in. I actually store them in this beautiful pencil wrap that a friend of mine made. Actually, one of my team members made this for me. I helped design this. I saw that she had something similar for knitting needles, and I said, do you reckon you could make one of those for me for pencils? And so together we tweaked the design, and now she sells these. They are fantastic. So this is how I store all of my pencils, and I've got some colouring tools in here. These are some old water painters. These are the old, what do we used to call them? Aquash pens that we used to have, or aquash brushes. We now have different Stampin' Up brand ones, which are water painters. I've also got some blender pens in there as well for colouring. And I love this because I can just wrap this up and take it with me wherever I go. So if I go away on holidays and things, I've got everything all together. I've got my colouring tools there. All I need to do is add a bit of water, and I'm good to go. Now, what I did with this shepherd is I used the watercolor pencils without water, but I used them in a way of blending the colors. Did you know that you can use pencils, watercolor pencils, to blend color? So I'm going to teach you how to do that tonight. So it was a lot of colouring when I was making 9 of these. It took me forever, and I had very sore hand and sore arm afterwards. But I think you get a really nice effect with them. So I can tell you all of the colours that I've used as we go, because I do have them all written down. In fact, I'm going to pull them out now so that I can then move the pencil roll away. So if you want to write these down, grab a pen or a pencil and write these down as I pull them out. Feel free to ask me again if you need to. So we're using number 22, which is Night of Navy. We've got 21, which is Balmy Blue. Number 16, Cajun Craze. That'll be up here somewhere in the browns. We've got number 10, Early Espresso. Number 5, Old Olive. Number 5, Old Olive. We've got number 19, Garden Green. We've got 11, Basic Grey. We've got 12, which is Basic Black. And we've got 13, which is, it used to be called Whisper White. I'm not sure, because that's the original Stampin' Up white colour that it used to be. Everything was Whisper White. We had Whisper White cardstock, which is now Basic White cardstock, Whisper White pencils, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure if it's still called Whisper White or if it's just called white now in the new packets, in the current packets. So they're the ones that we're going to use. So we'll put the rest away. Put my little colour charts away there too. And remember, we're not using any water, so we don't need to use any of those water painters or blender brushes. So we're simply just going to use the pencils, and that's going to be our focus. All right, so we've got those. We'll set them aside. Inks, we're just going to use Pecan Pie, Misty Moonlight, Memento Black, and we're using Versamark. Sorry, that's upside down, but you get the gist. And Versamark. So we've just got the 4 ink pads. We do have some blending brushes, sponge daubers, and we're going to be doing some embossing as well with both white and gold embossing powders. Okay. All right. Now let's start with, we might start with the stamping first so that we can give the ink a little bit of a chance to dry. As I said, I don't know where I put my measurements for these cards. They'll be floating around somewhere, but I just couldn't find them. So I'm going to have to do all of the measurements as we go. Now, I work in metric, as we do here in Australia. So this is A4 size cardstock. I'm just going to cut this in half at 10.5 centimeters. Whoops, no, sorry. 14, no, it's not half. 14.85 centimeters, which is half. Sorry, 14.85. All right, put one of those aside, and then I'm going to cut this piece into 10.5. So I'm turning it on the long side and cutting that into 10.5. Basically, if you've got scraps of white laying around, you can probably do most of this stamping on your scraps of cardstock. So our images are going to be stamped in Memento Tuxedo Black. Oops, I'll just put the card over. I'm actually going to pop the card up here out of the way so I don't get ink on it. We're going to start with our shepherd. So when I use Memento, I like to rub it over the surface of the stamp to get a bit of a coverage. And then I go tap, tap, tap to get an even coverage of ink. Okay, and then we're just going to stamp him down. Now we are going to fussy cut him. So we're just going to make sure that we stamp him in from the edge, of course, so that we can get the scissors around him. So hold that there in place, giving firm pressure so that the ink can transfer. There we go, beautiful. Now you can see that this stamp already has some shading on it, which is going to help us when we come to do the colouring, okay? Now I have stamped this one quite heavy. You can stamp it a little bit lighter if you want to. So let's stamp a second one. It depends, because we're adding the watercolour pencils, it depends on, you know, how much depth you like to have. Okay, so that one's just a tad lighter. So we might use that one that's just a little bit lighter. I'll clean that one in a moment. All right, so you'll probably just need this piece to do all of your stamping on, but I've stamped an extra shepherd, so you won't need that much. We are going to let him set aside to dry. The other stamping that we're going to do is the star, which is going to be embossed, so we'll do that later. The sentiment, which is also embossed, so we'll do that later. And this label, so we're going to create that label as well. But we'll let our shepherd, we'll put our shepherd over to the side to dry. And I'm going to clean that stamp up because I don't want the ink left sitting on there. So I'll just grab a scrap, stamp off the excess ink onto my scrap, and then we'll give that a clean. Oh, Julie says the watercolour pencils are great. You have, oh, the pencil rolls. Yes, they are. You have one for your pencils too, Julie. Oh, fantastic. That's great. Now, does anybody else have the Shepherd's Care stamp set? Let me know in the comment if you already have this one, if you've used it, or if it's one that's on your wish list. All right, so that's clean. All right, the next thing we're going to do, I think we will start with the card base and the DSP, and then we can, I just wanted that ink to dry before we do too much to it. But let's bring in our trimmer. We're bringing in a piece of pecan pie cardstock. Now, I've already cut my A4 piece of cardstock in half to create 2 card bases. And with this one, I'm just going to fold that in the middle at 10.5 to create our card base. Okay, so we're just going to use the edge there and there on the trimmer, moving our blades out of the way, and my cutting blade just fell completely out of my trimmer. So I'll pop that back in a moment, but we're just going to create the fold for the card base. There we go. And where's my bone folder gone? Got a couple of them there. Just burnish that fold. And there we've got our card base. Now, the next piece of Designer Series paper we have is this beautiful gold paper here. Well, it's not completely gold, but it's got gold on it. So I'll just put my blade back in my trimmer because we're going to need to cut. There we go. This paper is stunning. You've probably seen me show this before, the Season of Elegance, and I have used it on other Facebook Lives before as well. We're going to use a piece of this one here, and we've got lots and lots of different beautiful papers in here that have got the gold in them. So they've got gold on the one side, and then they've got like just flat designs on the other side, but I love, they look like they've been painted onto canvas. We've got Pretty Peacock, and I think, is it Old Olive? I'll tell you the colours in a moment. I'll look on the front. We've got some reds in there as well. That beautiful Pretty Peacock. And then we've got the neutral tones here with the gold. So the colours in this one are Basic Beige, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Grey Granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pretty Peacock, Real Red, and Gold. So lots and lots of colours in those beautiful papers. All right, now I think from memory, and I will just double check, I think this one is 14.45 by 10.1, but let me just double check. Oh, I better go across here. Yep, 10.1. Yep. Okay, so we're going to cut this one at, wait a sec. Yep, we're going to cut this at 10.1 centimeters by 14.45. Now, when you're cutting the 14.45, have a look at where the gold is going and just determine how much gold you want to chop off. Do you want to be chopping it off from the bottom here or from the top? I've got less gold going on up the top, so I think I'm going to chop it off from there. So I'll measure this at 14.45, and that's going to give us a nice 2mm border. Okay, and then we've got these pieces we can use. This piece here, you could even use that on the inside if you wanted to decorate the inside as well. Okie dokie, so that's that piece. Now we've got the blue piece here, and I just can't remember, was it 9.5? I feel like it was 9.5 by 9.5. Yep, that looks about right. Let's just feel, can I feel where I glued that? I'm pretty sure it was 9.4. Was it 10 point, was it 10? No, I'm pretty sure it was 9.5 by 9.5. I don't know where I put those measurements. Yeah, 9.5 by 9.5 will do for the blue. So for the blue there in the background, the night sky, I've actually used this paper here, the Winter Meadow 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. And there's lots of different blue papers that you could use as night sky. You could also use them as water, because they're very watercolored, so they're like sort of splodgy, but I love these. I kind of thought it looked a bit like galaxy, sort of a bit like clouds. On the other side you've got beautiful florals. You've probably all seen this paper. I'll give you a little flick through this paper so you can just have a look and see. This is paper that was actually carried over from a previous catalogue. It was that popular that they carried it over, but it's really beautiful. Some beautiful trees there. Sorry, you're looking at it all sideways. Beautiful watercolor. That would be great in it as a background. Beautiful. Love the colors. Got some berries there. Some nice grays. This looks really marbled. Some trees with some deer. They make beautiful, beautiful cards. So that's where I got that paper from. All right, so we're going to decide which piece we kind of like the look of. I like this area here because it's quite dark, like the night sky, so I might use that area there. And we're going to cut 9.5 by 9.5. So I think I'm going to go this way first, 9.5, and I'm going to cut down to about 9.5, using the measurements on the side of the arm there. Yep, Okay, now to get the other side of that 9.5, I'm going to flip this over upside down and then take this strip to 9.5. So I flip that right over completely and take that down again to the 9.5 or to your other cut edge. There we go. Okay, so we haven't got as much splodges like the stars in this one, but yeah, you can just cut it however you like. All right, so that's that piece. Right, now we need some cardstock for the tag, and I did have, that's crumb cake, and I did have an offcut. That's a half piece of A4, but I did have an offcut, and I think that's going to fit the tag as well. So let me just pull out the die. So these are the Greetings of the Season dies. And we're using the largest label here. I've put mine onto magnetic sheets because these are ones that we go to all the time. So they're constantly going on and off. And yeah, so it's much easier to use them when they are on magnetic sheets. Yep, perfect. Okay, so that's the right size. So that one is just under 7.5. So say 7.5 or 7.5 by 10.5. Okay, so 7.5 by 10.5 for your tag, and we're going to die cut that tag, and then we need this piece here as well for the label, and the label measures 10.1 by 2 centimeters, and that is in Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to cut a 2 centimeter strip here, and I'm going to use the 2 centimeters on this side this time because I've got a longer piece of cardstock with a longer edge here, and that just helps me to keep it nice and straight as I cut. So 2 centimeters wide by 10.1. Hang on, has that got a, yep, no, that's all good. By 10.1 long. Okay, there we go. And we hope and pray that we stamp it straight. Okay, so that should be all of our cutting. I am going to need a bit more white, but I have some over here because we need to stamp our star and, yeah, just our star actually. So I might grab a scrap to do that. Okay, so there's really not that many pieces in this card, but it's what we do to each of those pieces that makes it special. All right, and we just need to do the star. So let me just have a look and see. Can I fit? Oh, I could almost fit the star there. And yeah, I probably could fit the star there. Actually, I can fit the star in between them. Okay, I'm going to use the cardstock there, or if you've got scrap, you can use another scrap piece of cardstock to do that. All right, next thing we're going to do is we are going to die cut the tag. Oops, the card just fell over. Hang on a minute. It is a little bit top heavy, this one. It's got quite a few layers on the front. Oh, and it's hitting my power cord there too. And you know what I just realized? I don't have my phone plugged in. I've actually got my iPad plugged in. So I'm going to just plug in my phone so that I don't lose you all. There we go. Thankfully, I did have my phone charged up today. All right, so let's bring in the mini. My mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we're going to cut this tag. I really love the shape of this tag too. It's a really nice one. Okay, so we've got our base plate number 1, our clear plate number 2, and we're going to put our cardstock, our die with the cutting edge face down. If you want to put some washi tape or some post-it note tape there to hold that in place, I've actually got a post-it note here, so I might just use that there to hold that in place. And then we'll put another clear plate number 2 over the top, and we're going to run that through. Now, normally I would have put that at a little bit of an angle, and I forgot, so it might make a bit of a pop at the end. Yeah, just because it's got that straight edge there, and it is a good idea. It helps it feed through the rollers a bit better if you've got that die at a slight angle. But I didn't do that this time, so sorry about that. Now, I'm going to show you something with this while we've still got that sitting in the die. I'm going to show you a little trick. I'll just pop these to the side. Now, you probably can't see it on camera, but what I've done is I have embossed a little edge all the way around that die. It just gives it like a little beveled edge. It does help the ink to pick up around there, so you can kind of probably see it. If I hold it up to the camera, you can probably sort of see where that ink is sort of sitting on that beveled edge just there. It is a bit hard to see the beveled edge though on camera, but in real life you can see it. So what we're going to do is while our die is still sitting, while our cardstock is still sitting in our die, turn it upside down, take your pick tool, and you're going to use your stylus attachment. So there's a stylus attachment that has 2 stylus on it. Comes with your take your pick tool, and we're just going to replace the pokey tool, the paper piercing tool. I'm going to twist that to unlock and just release that, and we're going to put the stylus in. Now I'm going to use the larger stylus, so I'm going to put the small stylus in, just twist that around until you find that where that locks in, twist, and it's locked in. What we're going to do is we're going to take that stylus and we're going to run it around the inside of the die, and you'll feel it as you go. You can just feel the edge of where that metal is. Now at the top here, you have got that little bit of the top of the tag that comes down. You've got that little bit here. So you're going to go around that. So what I'm actually doing is I am embossing, or I'm debossing on this side, but it'll cause the other side to be embossed, that cardstock around the edge. So give it a good press. The cardstock is quite thick. Now you don't want to go too hard and too deep that you're actually going to damage the cardstock and you know, go all the way through it and tear it. But you want to go firmly enough that you're going to get that little beveled edge. Might need to go around this one again. All right, and then you can turn it over and you can kind of see when you look on the other side that the cardstock has now come up to the height of the edge of the die, whereas before it was sitting down a little bit below it. Just go around this corner here again. All right, and then you're going to release your die. Now you've pushed it quite firmly into the die now, so just work that around to push that out nicely, and you can do that with any of your shaped dies. And now when you look at your tag, you've got this really lovely little detail of the beveled edge around the edge of your tag, which I'm not sure if you can, I think you can kind of see that there on camera. You see that little beveled edge there, which you don't normally get if you just do an ordinary die cut. Now the tag just on its own without the beveled edge is great, it's fine, it looks great, but this just adds just an extra little technique to it. So there's just a little tip for you. So I'm just going to change my tips on my take your pick tool again. I'll pop that one over to the side. All right, so I'll put that die away. Let's slip that in there for now. Okay. So what we might do is we might do our stamping on our tag now. So I'm just going to pop that onto a bit of paper. We're going to take the Village and the Pecan Pie ink. And we're going to stamp the Village. Now what I did with this, because I wanted them all to be the same, I kind of lined them up with each other to work out roughly where I wanted the Village. Now if you're doing this from scratch, just eyeball it. You kind of want the Village to be about a third of the way down. Okay, so you don't want it right in the middle. You kind of want it a third of the way down. So we're going to ink up our stamp, and we are going to just stamp off the edge a little bit. So just move that over. Ink up our stamp, And we're going to stamp it off the edge, yeah, about there. I'm going to angle that down a little bit. Make sure you're looking at your villages to make sure that the villages are up straight, because see how the actual design of the sand goes down. Okay, and then we're going to do another one on the other side. Now, if they don't meet up exactly in the middle, it won't matter, because the shepherd is going to go over there, but you want this other one to go off the side as well. They probably will meet up, but if they don't, then that's okay too. So long as they're both going off each side of the tag. Okay, so see there, we've got our little village continuation there. All right, so we'll put that one away. Give that a clean. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add some ink to this label before we put that aside. So I'm going to grab my sponge daubers, and I need my pecan pie. No, that's my cool colours. Let's grab my warm colours. I've got some out of here because I was creating a project for my daughter for her birthday, which all will be revealed. That will go up on my page later this week, most likely. If not this week, then it'll be next week. But I made her a beautiful card for her 30th, but I've used a whole heap of different colours, so I've got a lot of my sponge daubers out of their box at the moment. So going around the edge, making sure that we get enough ink on there that we can highlight that beveled edge as well. So there's lots of little tips and tricks in this card. It does take a little bit of time to create it. And if I had have had time, I would have created some of these steps ahead of time. But I thought, you know what? I want to show you all the tips and tricks too. So you might pick up some extra little ideas along the way. There we go. All right, now we're going to take our blending brush and we're going to blend a little bit of ink just in the center. Okay, so not across the whole tag, but just kind of in the center there, just to sort of age this tag a little bit. And you'll notice that when I dabbed my ink into my pad, I then tapped it off on my paper first before going to my cardstock, so that I don't get a heavy blob of ink like that. Okay, and then just circular motion like that. And now we've aged that tag and we've added a bit of character to it. Okay, all right. Now, while we are inking, we're going to take our blue piece of, actually, no, I'll do that bit afterwards, because otherwise the ink might stick when we go to do other, embossing powder might stick when we go to do our embossing. So we'll do that bit next. All right, so let's put that to the side. All right, so let me show you how to create the color blending, because this is going to take the most time, although we'll probably do it fairly quickly. Now we are going to use a bit of black and white in this as well, which is a little bit different. But I did watch some videos of somebody doing some, oh, you love the beveled edge, Rose? It's really great, isn't it? It's a really great technique to just give a little bit of extra something to your project. All right, yes, so I watched a video of somebody doing some coloring techniques and blending with blending pencils and using the black and the white to blend the colors, and I thought it was so clever, and I tried it on this shepherd and it just looked really amazing. So we're going to start with the blues. I'm going to start with the can't remember if I started with the dark or the light when I was doing it. I think I started with the darker color, so the Night of Navy. I haven't got my pencils super sharp because I want to sort of have like a nice flat sort of edge on them. But basically what I'm going to do is the darker color, I'm going to go over where the shaded areas look like they are on my shepherd. Now, I'm cheating a little bit because this design, this stamped image, has actually got all the shaded areas shown here, but you can use this on an open type stamp as well, a line image stamp. But I'm basically just going over the shaded areas with the darker color. I'm pressing fairly firmly with this darker color. And I know that watching people color can sometimes be a bit boring, so feel free to make yourself a cup of tea or do your craft as well while you are there watching me. Feel free to craft along. But the blending is the important part. Okay, so we've got the color laid down there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our lighter blue and we're going to go over all of that. So all of his whole, I forget what it's called. Julie, do you remember what it's called? It's not a turban. It's Julie looked it up for us last time when I was using the shepherd. I can't remember what it was called. So I'm not pressing as heavily this time, but I am colouring over all of that, including over the dark that I've just done. Okay, you want it to be fairly even, but you don't have to press too hard with the lighter colour. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of the dark brown, which is the early espresso, just for the strap around his head. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black and I'm going to go over the little, the fold part on his head. I'm going to go over all of the black heavy lines, like the detail. I'm going over all of that because we've taken away a little bit of that detail when we've gone over it with the colour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edge, the inside edge of the design. Now you want to go right near the edge. The black is probably the one that you want to be the sharpest. You're going to go around all of this edge. That's going to give a bit more shadow. And then at the bottom of I want to say scarf, it's not a scarf, but we're going to go under there as well with the black pencil to create some shading. Now I'm kind of rushing this because it is a bit of a longer process. And when I was doing it for the swap, like I was taking my time to do it, watching a bit of Netflix as I went. So just going over all of those bits there. Okay, but yeah, important to go along the inside there of the stamped image, or the line there on the edge. Okay, then to blend it all, we're going to use our white. So we're then going to go all over all of that, including the black, and we're going to blend that in with the blue. Now you'll notice when you go over the other colors, it smooths everything out when you go over it with the white. Now if I hold that up, I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell on camera. Can you see how that is much smoother than these areas down here? These are sort of a bit more streaky, but see how they've kind of all blended a bit better together, and it's become much smoother with the help of the white. But the black along the edges there also gives that sort of shadow effect, and that is how we do it. That is how we blend the colors. But the white just helps to bring everything together. So we're going to go over all of that. I am pressing fairly firmly with the white. I'm not going over that shadow just there at the bottom. Oh, actually, did I on the original one? Or maybe I did. Yeah, I think I did actually. I did go over that shadowing there. Now the shadowing will show up a little bit better when we do the rest of the colour on his on his clothing there. And as I said, I am rushing this one a little bit more, so it's probably not as good as my original, but it gives you the idea. All right, so now we're going to use the browns. We've got the darker brown, so we're going to go, I'm actually going to do his beard as well in the darker brown. And I'm going to do the shadows on his clothing in the darker brown. Pushing a little bit more firmly with the darker colour. Get those shadows going right up to the little lamb there that he's holding. If you find your pencil's getting too blunt, then you need to sharpen it so that you're getting enough colour laid down. And then this shadow down here on the back of his clothes there is down the back, sort of. When you look at it at first, it looks like it's his legs, but it's actually not. It's part of his clothing there. Has anybody else done any colour blending with pencils? I know Julie has. I've received one of Julie's beautiful cards that she had done some blending with pencils. Okay, so we've got those dark colours laid down. All right, now we're going to use the Cajun Craze, and we're going to just do a very light coat on his nose. We're not doing any blending on his nose, but I just want to give him a little bit of colour there on his nose, and we're going to go over all of his clothing, including the dark, where we've already done the dark. Go around the little lamb's legs. Okay. Now this pencil's got quite a flattened area on it, so we're getting a nice, oops, I missed a little bit here for the dark, so I'm just going to come back in with the dark over that bit there. Oh, actually, I think I did that in black on the other one. It's all right, we'll come back in with the black. So yeah, when you get that flattened area on your pencil, you do get a smoother finish. When your pencil is very sharp and pointy, you get sort of more of a streaky effect with your pencils. So it's kind of a fine line between what is too blunt and what is too sharp. Okay, just go around that area there. There we go. All right, put a bit more up here on his shoulder, a little bit darker, so it matches what we've got down the bottom. Okay, and for his belt around his waist, I'm just going to go back in with some of the darker brown, which is the early espresso. We'll just come in with a little bit more of the lighter there, just underneath it. Okay, so now we'll take the black. And with the black, we're going to go over all of the crease lines in his clothing. You'll notice that there's some here on his arm as well, and just under his arm there. And then we're going to go on the edge here, on the outside edge of his turban, not his turban, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. So we're going to follow that around. This time we're doing it on the opposite side to where we were before. So we're on the brown side, but we're going around that to create a bit more shadow there as well. And then we're going to go, we'll do his arm there and his waist. He's got a few creases there in his just near his waistband, and we're going on the inside edge here of his clothing there. So just making that line a little bit thicker, and over this one, down all of these lines that you see in his clothing, down the back there. That's that one there. Okay, so you want to take that black right to the edge there. Okay, and we've missed a bit of detail here for his arm, so I'm just going to go back over that there as well. Okay, it's just a little bit there, and there's a little bit of shadowing under the lamb's ear. There we go. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to go over everything again with the white and blend that all together. If you try this at home, you'll see the difference when not using the white and the black pencils. You'll see how different it will look if you just colour it straight. Now, of course, these are watercolour pencils, so you can certainly introduce some water and, you know, use them as watercolour pencils and do watercolouring rather than blending them like this, because, you know, watercolouring is another way of blending the colours. But I thought this is just a different technique that you can use your pencils for that I wanted to share with you. So make sure where you've got the black along the edges there that you do go right over the that black to blend that black in with the brown, because you don't want there to be like a stark black line there. We're actually using that as shadow, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope I'm explaining this well enough anyway. There we go, and then that smooths all of that out and it blends that all in. If you feel like you need any more shading, you can go back in with your black. I feel like I needed a little bit more heavier shadowing there underneath the edge of where his scarf comes down to the back of the back of his clothing there. So just going back over with all of those colours. There you go, and then just blend it with the white. Okay, can you see that there? So see how that looks much smoother now? And then we've got the shadows created. I mean, this stamp, as I said, already had some of that shadow already in the stamped image, but we've created a bit extra around the edges and underneath his turban there. Okay, now with the little sheep, I just used the grey. This is the basic grey. I wanted I didn't want the sheep too dark, because I wanted them to kind of be, you know, like dirty white sheep. So I just went over the shaded areas with like heavily, like I'm pushing more heavily to add that shading. And then for the actual fleece, I've just gone very lightly with the grey, and I'm not blending that one. You can if you want to with the little one. I might do a little bit more blending on the big sheep down here. So just go over those darker areas, colour in all of that shading. And on his chest, going up to that ear. And then, and I will just do his little feet as well. I kind of feel like sheep feet are, like their hooves are actually a lighter colour, but just to add a little bit more definition. All right, and then for the whole sheep, I'm just going to use a circular motion and just colour lightly the fleece just to give a little bit of colour there, but not necessarily be, you know, like heavy with colour, because I just want the sheep to kind of look like they're white sheep, but a little bit dirty. And then if you want to, go back over with your pencil. Now just check if you're going from a darker colour, like we've gone over the black and the brown here, just rub your pencil off onto your scrap paper first to make sure that you're not transferring any of those darker colours into a lighter colour like on the sheep there. Okay, so I've got a few little bits that are just coming off. That looks pretty clean now. So now I'll just blend the white over the grey to just give the sheep's fleece a little bit more of a smooth effect. Okay, that just smooths it all out. There we go. Okay, so now with the grass, so we'll put those ones to the side. I don't need the blues. Now for the grass, we're going to use the two greens. So I've got garden green and old olive. We're going to use a little bit of Cajun and not really so much of the white, but we're going to blend these three colours together. All right, so we're going to start with a little bit of the old olive, and we're going to go all around on all of the, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to the garden green and go with that first because that's the darker colour. So I'm going to go with garden green first. Going to lay down a bit of colour everywhere, and I'm just adding a little bit more where there's a little bit of white space in and around the shepherd and the sheep, and under the sheep. And I've realised I've missed part of his gown under here, so I'm just going to come back in and do his gown under there, because there's a little bit of his gown showing under there under the sheep, which I missed. Forgot about that bit under there. I was thinking that was grass for a moment, and then I'm like, no, it's not. There we go, and we'll just blend that with the white so that it looks like the rest of his gown there. There we go. Okay, now we'll go in with the green. I'll take that up to there. Now this doesn't need to be super neatly coloured, because as we blend the colour, we're laying down more colour and eventually it will all sort of blend in together. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to take the old olive and I'm going to add some old olive in here, and I want to make it look more like grass. I don't want it to be too super bright green, but by blending those two greens together, you kind of get a really nice coloured grass underneath the sheep. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of Cajun in there as well, just in different areas, not over the whole bit, not over the whole section, but just in different little areas. And at first when you lay that down, you're going to think, oh my goodness, that's so heavy and now I've ruined it and it looks terrible. But no, because we are going to go back in and we're going to blend that back in. Okay, so I'm just adding little bits. I'm trying to find the sharpest part of the pencil tip now, just for adding in little bits of brown over this grass, just to sort of give it more depth, like there's a bit of earth there, or it could be little, you know, rocks. Okay, so I'll just show you what that looks like now. You can see how they just look like kind of blobs of colour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the old olive, so the lighter colour, and I'm going to go back over them and blend them into the green. So you're still going to see the brown, but they're going to be more blended and a bit softer. So they're not going to be super like blobs. Just going to add a little bit more detail there with the dark. Go back over it with the light. Blend in that brown. add a bit more of the darker green there. Just a tad of the brown. Go back in over with the green. There we go. So now that's all kind of, just missed a little bit of grey here on the leg of the sheep. So we'll just add that back in there. There we go. Now, if you go a little bit out of the lines with this, that's okay, because we are going to fussy cut this anyway. There we go. So now we've kind of blended that brown. You can still see it, but it's more sort of blended in rather than being just blobs of colour. Okay. All right. So that's how we blend our pencils using the help of the black and the white to give a little bit more definition. Okay. So now we can fussy cut our shepherd. So I'll just separate these two pieces here. And we're going to fussy cut this shepherd. Now I'm going to leave just a little white border around the whole image. And as we cut, we're just opening and closing the blades of our scissors with our dominant hand, which for me is my right hand, and we are maneuvering the cardstock with our left hand. And that helps you to control your scissors while still being able to cut out your image. And that way too, you're not fatiguing your cutting hand. And also too, if I kept on trying to maneuver this arm, I'd very quickly get a tired arm. Whereas if I'm just maneuvering the cardstock, makes it much better. These little paper snips, these are the Stampin' Up paper snip scissors, and they're a nice sharp, short bladed scissor, and they've got a nice sharp, like a pointed tip on the end as well. So they're really great for fussy cutting. Now I'll probably come back in and tidy up some of this. There's a couple of areas there where I've left a little bit of extra cardstock. I'll just cut away that extra piece just to make it a little bit easier to maneuver and get my scissors in there. So this one has got a little bit of like a few little nooks and crannies for cutting, but it's actually not that difficult. If you have this technique, if you use this technique of manipulating the cardstock with your non-dominant hand, which is my left hand, and just keep your scissors in the one spot and just open and close those blades, you're just controlling those blades, and it's making it much easier to trim the cardstock and cut out that image. See, that didn't take very long. And then you can just go in where you've left a little bit of extra cardstock, you can just go in and tidy up those little bits where you need to just tidy up. There we go. Let's see now. That looks pretty good. There we go. Okay, I'll just tidy up this little bit down here near his ear. Oop. There we go. All right, so that's our shepherd and the sheep. Alrighty. So next step is, so we've got that, we need to stamp our, oh, we needed that scrap cardstock, didn't we? To stamp our star. Can we fit our star there on that scrap? Perfect. Yep, we can go at a little bit of an angle because we are going to fussy cut that as well. I just need to make sure I can get that tip. Yep. So let's do that now too. Hang on, I'll cut this extra bit off there. We'll do all of our stamping. So we're going to, I'll put those two to the side. We are going to do a bit of heat embossing now. So I'm going to stamp my star in Versamark ink. And I'll just get that lined up on my cardstock there. Hold that down firmly. And I've got my Embossing Additions toolkit. Now this one I can see that I've used gold on that one, so I'm going to keep that one there for my gold, which is the star actually. Yes, the sentiment is the white. Nearly did the wrong color then. So this is the gold embossing powder from the Metallics embossing powders. This is the old one though. This is the old Stampin' Up brand. We do now have the new Wow brand that is available, and it still comes in metallics, a set of metallics and then a set of basics. My bristles on here, I've not been storing this properly, and my bristles on here have splayed out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is grab my fine tip brush, and which also has the fibers splayed out a little bit, but just want to get rid of some of those extra little granules there. There we go. There's my scrap paper. There it is. Let's pop my scrap paper underneath my tub and use my brush to clean my tray as well. Take the cap off, pour that back in. It's always a good idea to put away your embossing powder before you turn on your heat tool, so that you don't accidentally melt all of your embossing powder, because then you'll be very sad. Okay, so pop that away. I've got my heat tool here ready to go. Oops, look, I did spill some. I'll just pop that straight into the bin. Lucky I had my piece of paper underneath. I'm going to use my reverse grip tweezers that comes with the kit, the Embossing Additions toolkit. You get the tray, you get the tweezers, you get the brush, and you get the embossing buddy, which I haven't brought out, which I'll need for when we do the sentiment. So then we just use our heat tool to heat that embossing powder until it becomes shiny and raised, and then once that melts like that, the heating stops so that we don't take it too far. If we take it too far, that will become flat and dull, and you won't have that beautiful raised embossing anymore. Okay, so we'll set that aside. We'll do our sentiment. I'm going to grab my embossing buddy. Do that on here as well. Let's make sure there's no gold on there. Okay, so we're going to be stamping our sentiment sort of a little bit towards the right hand side. So I'm going to just brush over with my anti-static pillow. So that's our embossing buddy. Grab my sentiment and my Versamark ink. We're going to go tap, tap, tap. I'm going to stamp that over. Sorry, I'm just going to have to get my head over this so I can see, to hopefully get that straight about there. There we go. And put that in the tweezers. And this time we're going to use, I'm going to use my old embossing tray. This is a really old one I've had for years and years and years, probably like 20 years, that I'm using with my white, because I don't want to mix my gold embossing powder in case I didn't quite clean my tray properly, my other tray properly before changing colours. I don't want to mix my gold and my white. Okay, so put that away. Let's clean my brush. I'll just give that a bit of a flick to make sure I haven't got any gold embossing powder stuck in it. There we go. Yeah, just make sure if you're just using the one tray between colours, just make sure you do give your tray a very good clean before you use your next colour, so that you don't blend your embossing powders. All right, so just heat that heat tool up again. It should still be quite hot, so it shouldn't need too much heating. And we'll just quickly heat the sentiment, so you'll see that change and become white and glossy, and it will be raised. And as soon as you get to the other end, that's it, that's done. That's as easy as it is. Now, that will be a little bit hot. The tips of these reverse grip tweezers are ceramic, so they do heat up quite a bit. So be careful not to burn yourself on the tips of those till they cool down. And then I'm just going to brush that powder off that was on there from the embossing buddy. There we go. So we've got that bit. Now we're going to do a little bit of inking on this one while we have it there. So I'll bring in my Misty Moonlight. Sorry, I'm reaching all across myself tonight. We'll grab our Misty Moonlight dauber, sponge dauber. When you purchase the sponge daubers, they come in a pack of 5, and they're clean. They're clean, and they're, yeah, and then you just use them with your colours. I have one for every colour because sponge daubering is one of my favourite techniques, and if you watch me regularly, you will know that I like to sponge dauber on most of my cards, especially on the sentiments. And this one is going to need replacing soon because I can see it's getting all shaggy. When you are doing lots of embossed edges like this, it does tend to tear them up over time. And you do need to replace your sponge daubers, you know, every so often. I don't replace them very often, I would say. Maybe once or twice a year. But I can see that I'm getting, see how these little bits of sponge are coming off onto my scrap paper? Because this one needs replacing. So we're just going to dauber all around the edges just to distress that a little bit, because everything else is kind of distressed on the project. So it just kind of helps to tie everything in a bit. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to chuck this one out and I'm going to get a new packet. Well, this packet is already open, but this is how they come. This is the sponge daubers. They come in a pack of 5. So I'm just going to replace that blue one now. That one's ready to go. So this is what they look like when they've been used lots and lots and lots, and they get really chopped up. But this is what they look like when they're brand new. They're nice and spongy, and yeah, but this one's pretty old now. So I'll get rid of that one. Okay, clean off those little sponge bits so that we don't get ink where we don't want it. Okay, good. Now we're just going to quickly fussy cut this star, and because we don't have a die for this one, so I'm just going to fussy cut this just quickly. And this I'm probably going to botch because I am trying to rush. So this one might not be cut as well as my original ones on my swap cards. But yeah, card swaps are a real lot of fun. And sometimes there are swap groups, even if you're not a demonstrator, but sometimes there are card swap groups as well in some of the card making groups. They're always lots of fun to be a part of because it gives you so much creative inspiration from other people. Even if you don't have the products that they use, you can use the ideas from their layouts, from their color combinations. There's a lot of people that do a lot of fancy folds, as you saw with some of my swaps. There were some fancy folds. Yeah, so it's just really great inspiration and it's fun to be a part of. I'm going to have to come back in and tidy this up a little bit because I'm not doing a very good job with this today. If If you start to find it hard to maneuver your cardstock, then you've probably got a lot of excess cardstock. Just chop that off. Makes it easier for you to then get your snips around your image that you're trying to cut. Oops. Okay, then we'll just go back in and just tidy up any of those wonky bits. Get them a little bit neater. There we go. Oh, there's a sharp point there. We just want to round that off a little bit. This one looks a little bit wonky too. Now I know that some of you don't like fussy cutting. So if that's you, I suggest that when you're looking at stamp sets to buy, either buy ones that have coordinating dies or punches, or use stamp sets that you can stamp onto a solid shape, such as a circle or a square or a rectangle or even a tag like I'm using. Yeah, look for stamp sets that you can kind of use in that way if you don't like fussy cutting images. And sometimes fussy cutting is hard for people, especially if you've got arthritis or problems with, you know, fine motor skills. It can be a bit tricky. So it's not for everybody. But then other people find it really therapeutic just to sit and, you know, fussy cut. So it depends on the individual. Everybody is different. All right, so I'm just going to move these pencils out of the way. And now I think we have all of our components ready to go. And now we can start putting everything together. Oh, let's just clean those last two stamps we just used so that we can get all that ink off. Never leave your stamps sitting for periods of time with ink sitting on them. Ask me how I know. We want to keep our stamps in good working order. We pay all that money for them. We would need to look after them. There we go. Okay. Now, the other thing we're going to need is our linen thread. Our linen thread. We're going to wrap some linen thread around the label here, the sentiment label, before we attach that, before we even think about attaching that. Don't ask me how much linen thread you need. Just tie it straight from the spool. I'm not sure how much I used. I'm just going to wrap it around that many times. So I think that was like 4. I have to wrap it around 4. It ends up being looking like 3 once you tie it. And then we're going to tie that. I've actually not got it quite tight enough. I've wrapped it a bit loosely. Hang on a sec. I'll have to tighten that up. Tighten that up a little bit. There we go. All right, and then we're going to just tie a knot. So no bow tying today, ladies, just tying a knot. So those of you who struggle with your bows, don't know, it doesn't always have to be a bow. It can just be a knot. All right, now here's another little tip for you. If you're having trouble tying your twine, grab those reverse tweezers and tie your first loop, and then hold it with your tweezers while you tie your knot. And then that way it's not going to slip all around everywhere and drive you crazy. Okay, we'll slip that out, tighten that up, and then we can trim. Trim, and then we can trim that up further as we need to. And I'll just slide that over, just position these a little bit better how I want to have them. So I've got them sitting nicely, and we can see the definition there between the different strands. That looks pretty good. All right, tighten that up, and I'm just going to trim them up a little bit more. Trim, and add a bit more texture, because you know everything is distressed on this card, so just fluff those ends up with your fingernails. Even if you don't have nails, just use your finger, fluff those ends up, separate those strands of twine there. It just gives a bit of extra texture on your card. There we go. Okay, that's ready to adhere. Okie doke. Oops. There we go. All right. So what we need to do, what we didn't do yet was we didn't fold down the corner of this piece. I didn't show you how to fold that down. Now let me just see, what did I do? I did 1 centimeter and, I can't remember what I did now. 1 centimeter and 9 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a, I think I did it from the opposite side though, didn't I? All right, so this is the side we're going to use, but what I'm going to do is I want to score it from the other side. So I'm going to flip it over. I want to measure 1 centimeter from this side. So I'm going to hold my finger there, flip it over so that I'm now measuring from the opposite side. I'm going to measure 1 centimeter there, and we're going to put a pencil mark. 1 centimeter there, and then from this corner down is going to be 9. Let me just check from the bottom. Is 5.5 from the bottom. So the opposite corner, we're going to go 5.5 centimeters from, or actually we'll go from the top, and we'll go 9. I think it was 9, wasn't it? Was it 9 or 9.5? It was 9 centimeters. Yep. Yeah, we'll go from the top corner down 9 centimeters, and we're going to put a mark there. Okay, so this is on the reverse side to the side that we're using. So on the left side, you're going to mark at 9, and from the top right hand corner, you're going to mark in 1 centimeter. And we're going to score with our scoring tool. Now, if you don't have a scoring tool, you can use your stylus with your Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up those 2 marks there on my trimmer so that I'm scoring. I'm going to move my cutting blade away. So we're going to line them up like so that we are scoring. Let me just double check that's going to be the right way. Yep. Okay, so we've got our 1 centimeter mark there at the top, our 9 centimeter mark down here, lining them up on the cutting track or the scoring track. If you have a scoreboard, you can use a scoreboard as well for this. There we go. And we're just going to take our scoring blade. Oops, just move that over a little bit and score that way. And then when we turn that over, it's scored at an angle like that. So let me move my... Okay, and then we're going to fold that over. Now we've got the mountain fold on this side, and when you're folding cardstock, you should always have the mountain fold on the inside. I know it sounds like it should be the opposite way, but if you have the mountain fold on the inside, it helps to stop your cardstock from cracking. Okay, because you don't want it to crack and then tear. And then we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to burnish that, and that's how we get that fold there. Okay. All right. Now, what I did with this is I had this on here. Actually, what you can do, you can actually adhere that flap down. So we'll grab our multi-purpose liquid glue now that we've got that. We're going to put the glue on the underside there of that triangle. Okay, so the underside there of the triangle, and you're just going to fold that back over and adhere that to itself. Like that. Okay. We're going to take our blue piece, decide which way you want it to go. Which way do you want those stars? So I kind of like it like, let me see which way I like it. So I'm lining this up, the gold paper, I'm lining that up, and then I'm lining up the blue to see where I want. I kind of like it how I had it before, actually, with this splodgy bit up there. Or do I like it that way? Maybe I'll use it that way. I'll use it that way. All right. So you can see what we're going to do is we're creating a little 2mm border around the edges there. But you want to make sure that it's going to line up. Sorry, I'll move this up a little bit. You want to make sure that it's going to line up with where your gold piece is sitting. Okay, so if you line all of that up together, get those nice even borders all the way around, and then you might just need to maneuver one of the pieces in order to have everything all lined up. Like if you wanted to, you could have this whole piece the same size as this piece, and then you just basically stick them together and stick them on the card. That would be really easy, but I've done it this way to utilize the cardstock and not waste too much. Jenny says, love the way you've done that, Mandy. Saves a lot of cutting. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. I'm glad you like that. All right, so then we're just going to work out our borders, and then we're going to line these two up together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave, I've kind of got that all lined up. Could maybe go up just a little bit higher. But once you get that lined up, I'm going to leave the gold there in place. I'm going to move my hand away from where that blue is sitting behind. I'm going to leave that just sit there carefully for the moment while I put the glue on the back of this piece. And the reason I'm using the liquid glue is so that I've got that wiggle room and I can slide this around to maneuver that and put that exactly where I need it. If I used tape, it would be a bit harder to get that back in. Okay, so hold that in there. Whoops, it did slip a little bit, but I've got it. Oh, I've just got glue on there. That's okay. And now we just make sure that we line that back up again as we maneuver the blue paper. Okay, so just slide that over a little bit. Keep looking at your borders. Make sure you're getting your borders straight. Whoops, that's gone up a bit high now. I'm going to have to pull that down. I did make 9 of these originally, and it did take a little bit of manipulating and a bit of trial and error to get it right. Okay, that's almost there. I'll just move that across just a little bit more. I think my glue is starting to dry, so I'm just going to press that down. That's pretty close, pretty close. I've got a bit of glue on here, and that's a bit sticky now, but I'm not going to worry too much about that because I'm going to be adhering my label over the top. So let me just get rid of this glue off my fingers. There we go. All right, so now we're ready to adhere this piece over the top. So just take that glue all the way around the edges. Okay. And just carefully put that down till I get that all lined up. Make sure that the blue is covered. We don't kind of want the edge of that poking out. There we go. There we go. Okay. So adhere that down there like that. Okay. So then we're not wasting too much of that blue because we've just got that, what was it, 9.5 by 9.5 or 9 by 9? I think it was 9.5. I think it was 9.5 by 9.5 square of the blue. So we're not wasting too much of that. Okay, so that's the front of our card. Now we're going to put our label on there. The rest is all done. It's just basically putting it all together now. We're going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. Where are they? Let's find them. There we go. Okay, we'll grab our Dimensionals. We're going to put a whole heap of them on the back of this tag. We don't want any saggy bits, as I always say, so we want that to be nice and secure. So lots and lots of dimensionals. There we go, because that's going to be holding our showpiece, so we want to make sure that that is nice and sturdy. Oops, I've done that one. There we go. All right. Now our tag is going to cover up the sticky bit, so that's good. It's just going to go down a little bit from the top, probably about 1 centimetre or so. And I'm just looking to see that I've got that kind of lined up with that folded piece, because that's created an even border there. You can kind of line that up with the edge of your label, so you know that you've got it straight, and then just adhere that down. Now you'll notice that we've got a hole there at the top. We're going to cover that hole up with the shepherd. So we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of the shepherd, and then nobody will even know that that little hole is there on the label. Now the hole, of course, on the label there is so that you can make it into a tag and add some ribbon, but we're not using it in that way. We're using it as a label rather than as a tag. There we go. All right, so we'll take all of this off, all the backings off our dimensionals. My fingers sure are sticky now. All right, and we've got our beautiful village. I love the look of that village and how it just looks like it continues on. It really gives a great effect. And then we're going to pop our shepherd over the top. Now I'm going to pop him just covering that hole, and make sure that he is over that hole, but the bottom is still on the tag as well. There we go. And then for our star, we just need 1 dimensional. I think I might have used a mini. Yeah, I did. I'll grab my minis. We'll just use a mini on the back of the star. The star is going up there in the corner. We want to make sure that the points of the star stay within the card so that they don't get caught when it's going in and out of the envelope. Okay, so it's just going to be coming in there at the side there of the tag. And then we've got our sentiment label, so that's going up on dimensionals as well. So lots and lots of dimensionals. So this is quite a detailed project, this one. There's lots and lots of steps in there, lots of techniques. But I just thought it was a really great, and I knew it would take a while to make it, but I just thought it was a really great project to just show you like lots of different techniques and to give you some ideas. So then we're just going to put our sentiment down here at the bottom. There we go. And then finish off with a couple of the Drucy adhesive backed embellishments. I love these ones from the Mini Catalogue. They are so super sparkly. They're just beautiful. So we're going to put one about there. I won't push them on too hard just yet until I make sure that I've got them in the right places where I want to have them. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. So we'll push those on. And there we have our beautiful Christmas card. There you go. So you can see because I stamped this one a little bit heavier than I stamped this original one, you can see that it looks a little bit darker with the colouring. So it depends on the look that you're going for, the look that you want. If you want it to be a little bit lighter, just stamp your image a little bit lighter. Yeah, but they look great, and I love playing with the pencils and blending those colours. So there you go. So there is our project for today. That is my my Shepherd's Care Peace on Earth card. I think that's what I called it. What did I call it? I don't know if I called it. I don't know if I actually gave it a name. So there you go. So that is how I created that beautiful card. Lots and lots of techniques. So we had the paper folding, we had the beveled edge on the tag, the distressing on the edges and the distressing on the inside, using a single stamp to create a bigger image. We had the blending watercolor pencils technique. We had some heat embossing, some more distressing, lots and lots and lots of things. So there you go. Oh, thank you so much, Rose. I'm glad you really enjoyed that. And thank you, Chitska. That's great. I'm glad that you all loved that project. So yeah, lots of fun creating that one. So yes, when I had to make 9 of them, well, I designed the first one and then I had to make 8. I did it in a full production line and over many nights. It took quite a while to get them all done. But there you go. All right, well, I'm going to tip the camera back up face to face so that I can say goodbye to all of you properly. And here we go. All right, if I got that covered up, I think I do now. All right, so just bear with me a moment while I just adjust the camera. So if you make a card like this, or if you use any of those techniques in your projects, I'd love to know about it. So feel free to share that with me. If you've learned something new today that you found helpful, I'd love to know about that as well. I like to try and share things with you to just give you some extra ideas and tips and tricks to help you utilize your products a lot more. So there you go. There's an up close look. We've got all that beautiful gold going on there, isn't it? Like, I think any card that has gold on it just takes it to the next level, doesn't it? It's just so stunning with all of that gold and that bling. Those juicy gems, they are gorgeous. They're so pretty. I hope that they carry those over, actually. They're really, really pretty. So, oh, thanks so much, Jenny. Good night, Jenny. I hope you have a beautiful sleep. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. It was fun going live at a different time. Very different vibe for me because it's very dark outside and the family are home and the TV's going in the background. So it's a very different vibe filming at night time. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to hearing about what you're creating. So feel free to let me know. If you've got any questions as well about tonight's project or any of the tips or tricks or techniques that I used, feel free to send me a message and I'd love to have a chat with you about that. But I hope you all have a great week, and I hope you all get some crafting in there somewhere along the way. And I look forward to seeing you back next Monday at our usual time of 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So have a great week, everyone. And as I always say, happy crafting. Bye.